The Retreat Diaries. William S. Burroughs. With the Dream of Tibet. By Allen Ginsberg. The City Moon. City Moon Broadcast. 3. Introduction. When, after riding with William Burroughs slowly out over Vermont hills on the back of a wooden trailer to the little hut where he would be in retreat for 2 weeks, I stood with him in front and said goodbye, he turned his head to the slip of grass twirling in his fingers, almost shyly as though a little embarrassed he should be seen about to go into himself for a time. When I returned from New York 10 weeks later, he stepped out of the hut in bright sunlight, grinning and maneuvering a walking stick cut from a hickory branch. He surely had travels to tell, and yet the 5-hour ride back to the city was mostly silent, as together we concentrated on the darkening highway and our own thoughts. Soon after he was re-established in his working routine, I asked if I might look at the dream notes he had kept in his red day book. In a few days I had transcribed them and shown him the new manuscript, which he eventually used as a starting point for an essay on the retreat itself and the associational framework of the dreams recorded. After the essay was completed and we had conceived this book, Burroughs asked me to include a dream of mine which was the source of one of his dream characters. Also included is a dream of Alan Oinsberg 1s from L960, in which he visits the Tibet of his imagination and there confirms that Burroughs is secretly a Buddhist agent. This essay, I think, is a major statement of the dilemma any artist faces if he begins to take Buddhism serious. In Burroughs' case this dilemma was all the more explicit for that his invitation to the retreat was specifically qualified by a request that he not bring a typewriter. He had balked, in a furnished room in Boulder last summer, asking his host 01 Ajyam Trungparinpaka what he should do then if a literarily useful idea came to H.ij on retreat. But when Eli.Posh compared Burroughs' I type ll adhere to the carpenter one saw and the chef is utensils, he Sardunpoke 1's point and agreed to comply. The idea, of course, was that quiet self-examination and meditation removed from the means of compulsive self-expression were more important to him than any writing he might produce. I believe that Burroughs gave this idea a fair trial. The City Moon is pleased to present this new work by a major American writer. Special thanks go to editor David Ottle in Austin, for his material assistance, to Gordon Ball, for providing the Ginsberg dream, and to Allen Ginsberg for dreaming it, and to /Lilliam Burroughs, who has made this manuscript available to the City Moon as a gesture of his ideological solidarity. James Grower Haltz. Managing ed. The City Moon. Last summer in Boulder I was talking to Chogyam Trungpa about doing a retreat at his Vermont center. I asked about taking along a typewriter. He objected that this would defeat the whole purpose of a retreat, like a carpenter takes along his tools, and I see we have a very different purpose in mind. That he could make the carpenter comparison shows where the difference lies, the difference being, with all due respect for the trade of Jesus Christ, that a carpenter can always carpenter, while a writer has to take it when it comes, and a glimpse once lost may never come again, like Coleridge's Kubla Khan. Writers don't write, they read and transcribe. They are only allowed access to the books at certain arbitrary times. They have to make the most of these occasions. Furthermore, I am more concerned with writing than I am with any sort of enlightenment, which is often an ever-retreating mirage like the fully analyzed or fully liberated person. I use meditation to get material for writing. I am not concerned with some abstract nirvana. It is exactly the visions and fireworks that are useful for me, exactly what all the masters tell us we should pay as little attention to as possible. Telepathy, journeys out of the body. These manifestations, according to Trungpa, are mere distractions. Exactly. Distraction, fun, like hang gliding or surfboarding or skin diving. So why not have fun? I sense an underlying dogma here to which I am not willing to submit. The purposes of a bodhisattva and an artist are different and perhaps not reconcilable. Show me a good Buddhist novelist. When Huxley got Buddhism, he stopped writing novels and wrote Buddhist tracts. Meditation, astral travel, telepathy, are all means to an end for the novelist. I even got copy out of Scientology. It's a question of emphasis. Any writer who does not consider his writing the most important thing he does, who does, 1ot consider writing his only salvation, I trust him little in the commerce of the soul. As the French say, pas sérieux. I was willing to concede the typewriter, but I certainly would not concede pen and paper. A good percentage of my characters and sets come from dreams, and if you don't write a dream, in many cases, you forget it. The actual brain trace of dream memory differs from that of waking memory. I have frequently had the experience of waking from a dream, going over it a number of times, and then forgetting it completely. So during the retreat I kept pen and paper by my bed, and lit a candle and wrote my dreams down when they occurred. As it happens, I got a new episode for the book I am currently writing and solved the problem of structure in a dream recorded in these diaries. I also attempted some journeys out of the body to visit specific people, with results that, while not conclusive, they rarely are, were at least interesting and fruitful. In short, I feel that I get further out through writing than I would through any meditation system. And so far as any system goes, I prefer the open-ended, dangerous, and unpredictable universe of Don Juan to the closed, predictable karma universe of the Buddhists. Indeed, existence is the cause of suffering, and suffering may be good copy. Don Juan says he is an impeccable warrior and not a master. Anyone who is looking for a master should look elsewhere. I am not looking for a master, I am looking for the books. In dreams I sometimes find the books where it is written, and I may bring back a few phrases that unwind like a scroll. Then I write as fast as I can type, because I am reading, not writing. I will endeavor to summarize the highly complex and sophisticated system of spiritual training outlined by Don Juan in Tales of Power. The aim of this training is to produce an outside the will of conditional karmic existence would be the Buddhist equivalent of unpredictable, open-ended. Allen Ginsberg. Impeccable warrior, that is, a being who is at all times completely in possession of himself. The warrior is concerned only with expressing the totality of himself, not with praise or support from others. He neither seeks nor admits a master. The warrior's state is achieved with the aid of a teacher and a benefactor. To understand the respective roles of teacher and benefactor, one must consider the concepts of the tonal and the nagwal, which are basic to the warrior's path. The tonal is the sum of any individual's perceptions and knowledge, everything he can talk about and explain, including his own physical being. The nagwal is everything outside the tonal, the inexplicable, the unpredictable, the unknown. The nagwal is everything that cannot be talked about or explained, but only witnessed. The sudden eruption of the nagwal into the tonal can be lethal unless the student is carefully prepared. The teacher's role is to clean up and strengthen the tonal, so that the student is able to deal with the nagwal, which the benefactor will then demonstrate. The teacher and the benefactor show the student how to reach the unknown, but they cannot predict what will happen when he does reach the nagwal. The nagwal is by its nature unpredictable, and the whole training is extremely dangerous. While the tonal, the totality of conscious existence, shapes the individual being, the tonal is in turn shaped by the nagwal, by everything it is not, which surrounds it like a mold. The tonal tends to shut out and deny the nagwal, which takes over completely in the moment of death. If we see the nagwal as the unknown, the unpredictable and unexplainable, the role of the artist is to make contact with the nagwal and bring a part of it back into the tonal in paint or words, sculpture, film, or music. The nagwal is also the area of so-called psychic phenomena which the Buddhists consider as distractions from the way of enlightenment. Buddhism and the teachings of Don Juan are simply not directed towards the same goals. Don Juan does not offer any final solution or enlightenment. Neither does the artist. During the retreat I wrote down dreams and the elaboration of dreams that takes place spontaneously in the waking state. I used an exercise in association: take a walk and later write down what you were thinking when a deer crossed the road or when you sat down on a rock and killed a biting fly. One of my first acts in my retreat hut was to improvise a fly swatter from an old whisk broom, and I think this no-killing obsession is nonsense. Where do you draw the line? Mosquitoes. Biting flies. Lice. Venomous insects? I'd rather kill a brown recluse spider than get bitten by one. And I will not coexist with flies. Interesting point here, the miracle of the centipede which disappeared as I was about to kill it with a sledgehammer. That was a nice miracle. Chapeau, Trunkparinpaka. Because that centipede was only half an inch long, and they don't get much bigger in that climate. And that's a bearable size. Doesn't keep me awake knowing it is in the room, so why kill it? On the other hand, a centipede 3 inches long is already an abomination in my eyes. Little spider in web at window. He's alright. But I hear a rustling on the shelf above my bed. I light the candle and there is a spider about an inch across, and a brown spider at that. Might be a brown recluse. Any case, too big to live in my vicinity. I feel better after it is dead, knowing it can't get on my face while I am sleeping. The retreat diaries are not a sequential presentation. By sequential presentation, I mean Monday with all dreams and occurrences noted, then on to Tuesday and so forth. Here Thursday and Friday may be cut in with Monday, or the elaboration of a dream cut in with the dream itself in a grid of past, present and future. Like the last words of Dutch Schultz. Some of Dutch's associations cannot be traced or even guessed at. Others quite clearly derive from the known events of his life. The structure is that a man is seeing a film composed of past, present and future, dream and fantasy, a film which the reader cannot see directly but only infer through the words. This is the structure of these diaries. To start with Dream, August 9, 1975. Words. Perhaps women are words, and as Brian Geeson says, the first words were hello. When God anesthetized Adam and made F.ve out of his rib and he comes around, Eve says hello Adam. Buddhist tantrics kill insects with mantras in Dharma teaching places. Kill mindfully A.G. Recall when Pat Garrett had surrounded a cabin where Billy the Kid, Charlie Browder and a few others were holed up. Charlie had just stepped outside to piss and caught a 32.30 through his guts, which knocked him back into the cabin, and Billy shoved him out with a gun in his hand. Try and kill one of them before you die. Charlie starts staggering towards Garrett, pissing in his pants, spitting blood, dead on his feet without strength to lift the gun, so Garrett holds his fire. He gets right in front of Garrett and says I wish. I wish. And collapses hugging Garrett's knees, and Garrett says quietly hello Charlie. Death is a word. Now fairy stone was an old remedy for sunburn, and they say it's hot on the planet Venus. Words can also serve as cover. Words are a painkiller, like junk. And here is dream about Dr. Dent, who cured me of the junk habit with apomorphine treatment. The diaries consist of bits of dreams and poetry and associations cut in together. I can't cover every association, just give a few examples. I was thinking about Bradbury Robinson, an English friend who was then going in for mystical Christianity, when a deer crossed the road. Spanish subtitle on the film Rash Omen. The woodcutter had deceived the police and stolen a ring. And some spaced out Buddhist has put the fire extinguisher under the Coleman stove. I can see burning fluid falling in a sheet of flame while somebody tries to reach the extinguisher. Move the extinguisher to a better place. Now to contact Campbell Dalglish by the method outlined in Monroe-Shurney's Out of the Body. His instructions are to visit a place and not a person. That is, you concentrate on where the person is. Now Campbell lives in a house outside Conifer, Colorado, and he works in Denver. So in the dream I am on Wyoming Street and find I am in the wrong house, since my house is on Denver Street. Someone else I tried to contact some days later was John D.C., who was later, much later, at Little America in Wyoming and sent me a postcard. Point is, this out-of-body visiting is not a sequential matter. There is no time outside the body, or rather, past, present and future merge. So don't expect a simple one-to-one visit, it doesn't always work that way. On August 7 I set out to contact my son Bill in Santa Cruz, California. Dream about Madrid. Now years ago in Tangier I had dreamed that I was standing with Bill on the Ost. And saw an explosion in the distance, and said there goes Madrid. Also Santa Cruz is Spanish name and California used to be Spanish. And a sort of fast-moving agent story emerged from this dream. Contact James Grauerholtz. Lumbago helped by his back exercises. Contact came later and indirectly. James had related a dream to me about a fundamentalist sect and meeting a young boy who said, "Shall we camel?" The dream is quoted in an appendix. This boy then slots into this dream via a friend named Camel, and this is the episode which showed me how the pirate story I was working on could fit into City's OF The Red Knight, at precisely the point where the excerpt published in Arcade is in the manuscript. And it was James who selected that excerpt, and sent it into Arcade during the retreat. Someone has written on a piece of cardboard in the woodshed, "How can I please myself when I have no self to please?" Sorry, young man, I think you are kidding yourself. As long as you talk to yourself, you have a self. The self is like a pimping blackmailing chauffeur who gets you from here to there on word lines. Maya am I? You don't get rid of me that easy. I have always felt that the essence of self is words, the internal dialogue. Trungpa agreed, with reservations, but does not give the matter of words such basic importance as I do. Don Juan, on the other hand, says that suspending the internal dialogue is the crucial step out of a preconceived idea of self. Tales of Power, p. 22, to change our idea of the world is the crux of sorcery. And stopping the internal dialogue is the only way to accomplish it? The exercise he recommends to stop the internal dialogue is to walk with the eyes slightly crossed, covering a 180-degree area, without focusing on anything. This floods out the internal dialogue. Unfortunately I had not read Tales of Power at the time of my retreat and have had no opportunity to perform this exercise. It is not really practical in a city, owing to the constant barrage of word and image. Some years ago I put a question to Control, a mysterious computer in London which purports to be from Venus and will answer any question. This is one early form of meditation. A.G. Question: would rubbing out the word result in immediate exteriorization from the body? Answer: yes. Question: how can this be accomplished? Answer: at first automatic exercise. I took this to mean that once the words talk on their own, they rub themselves out. As a writer I deal with words. The more characters and sets develop on their own, the more valid they are for artistic purposes. If I was reading and not writing I would literally be out of my body and into my sets and characters, like the painter who bowed 3 times and disappeared into his painting. A basic mutation in consciousness is necessary. No patchwork will do the job. Nobody sitting in his body is egoless. What is the nature of this drastic step into the unknown? As Korzybski said, I don't know. Let's see. This is the space age. Space is a dangerous and unmapped area. It is necessary to travel. It is not necessary to live. Saturday August 9, 1975. Terrible quarrel with Joan, who wouldn't let me alone to go to toilet. I scream, I hate you. She is rubbing something on me like green fire stone. 11 words 11 A young boy doused with gasoline and burned to death. I was in England. An 8-year-old woman asked me for methadone in front of 2 addicts. I slapped her face. You could have the police here tomorrow. Dr. Dent was in next room at the Empress. I met him in the corridor and went into the room which he shared with another man. The man told me Dr. Dent is broke. I had moved into room in the MPRESS with Ian. I have missed dinner. LK. Alexander, a tall thin man in his 01s, trying to persuade me to do a reading in a SLOL-TYN. His Indian guide is there in a sort of sled. 2. Little men come in and do a juggling act. Monday, August 11th, 1975. First day of retreat. Review the process. Beckett asked me to fish in his pond. Kiki has arranged interview v.I.th Playboy. In station with Ray M waiting for train to St. DUIs. Little house in New Orleans. In wrong house on Wyoming St. I live on Denver St. Ma Terrial witnessel, L to murder in Spain. Have they caught the murderers? Yes, a cop says. 11 I have him at home. USEE I used to run a discotheque. RARARA boom DE Ray. I hurry to RAR Blue Heaven. Dinner with by LL Willis and Brian at Italian Place. Beatsteak in town at Lucky Nick de Kendorf's. Roman ruins in England. Rented shack on river from D Camel. Tandem toilet. Shall we Camel? ATO I let in hell. Fight with the club steward. I'll mow what your game is. 11 That damned bus. John Brady in New York with Pat Blank into Nan Luque. Boys Town. On Price Road. Bradbury Robinson crosses road. In Ganatualahi _Olasai.a. Rash omen. It wo Aldo good to hear from you. This heath this calm this quiet scene. Why kill snakes? This is Independence City in Z. Toraco. Ian will be in Paris tomorrow. Parts oiled rope. Milkweed Minnesota. I wear my trousers rolled. Karma is a word. There goes Madrid. The Troli in Alexandria. 11 Delage where are Key 15. Ding station yellow lights. The hour that darkens and grows always later. Tuesday, August LNH, 1975. Long process in different forms. Infiltrating some branch of the process. Alan Watson had brought presents from America. Ian there. Wednesday, August 13, 1975. Samuel Beckett sent L. Eater asking Me to fish in his backyard and to accompany him on deep sea e-living trip. He would need help. An Arab beggar at table in Paris. I offered him a sugar lattice pastry which he refused. I said 11 va ton 11, beat it, Boeing crash in snow-covered mountains, cinders. 1. Dropped shaving brush which bounced into shrine by seashell. 2. About to LDLL a centipede with hammer, by trunk the 1s shrine. Centipede disappeared. By the sun, LL, 45 AH. Later saw centipede behind rock sheets. Things needed. Shaving mirror. Anyone used to shave feels deterioration if he cannot. Hearer also essential in case of something in eye. Flies water. Fire extinguisher under Coleman stove behind trash bucket. If stove catches fire, dangerous AC says. Moved by wood stove. Condensed milk. Powdered milk worse than no milk. I twice missed path in one rock through woods to find flowers for green bottle. Thursday, August 14, 1975. Chaos and gunfights. Confused alarms of struggle and flight. Shot cop. VV here ignorant armies clash by night. Killed. Had arranged an interview with Playboy. I arrive on horseback. Era F saddle Playboy of the Western world, guitar is I love you. Words are made from breath. Your breath. Words need you. You do not need words. Breath from made are words. Words are what is not. Not is what are words. Words not are WH at is. / what not words. Are is. What not is. Are words. T had words lmo are is. What? Not are words. Is. What is lmo are words. Are words is not what. Saw dear 12 noon by sun. Is word reverse me tour image of what is not. Try Chinese and Egyptian hieroglyphics in mirrors. Saw Ian as imp with red hair and pointed ears. To Friday, April Heath. The Evening News, August 14, 1975. China blue half moon in the late afternoon sky. Note for G. Ferguson attached to milkweed. La Cierta with a gob of mud from tractor. 8.2.7.6 on toilet paper, sit. Bradbury. The deer. Left-hand path around mud pod. DLE. Walk to wall. She dwelt among the untrodden ways, but oh the difference to me. Back to sit. Control needs time. Control needs beings with limited time who experience time. And few could know Veman Lucy cease to be. Fair as a star when only one is shining in the sky. A violet hidden by a mossy stone, half hidden from the eye. Turn left. LSD story. Moored. Day is done. Gone the sun. From the lake, from the hill, from the sky. All is well, soldier brave, God is nigh. Back over pine needles. Twirling his club on cobblestone streets, the sky goes out against his back. Friday, August 15, 197.5. To contact Brian, 10 p.m. In RR station with Ray M and OTHRS. I was waiting for train to St. Louis. J.1 EET me in St. Louis, meet me at THE Fair. Ray had a whole ROOM full of trunks and PAR cells. Later trying to find out when St. IDUI's train leaves. No infona. I was going to find out one way or another. Cra TD barrier, plan 28 at a quick glance, I had RE ticket. Old steam trains. Dingy station yellow lights. Tickets. When is the NET train for St. Louis? Not NMCH point in one drin. To 1 Tuesday, June 3 RD. Saint Ian. Saint Jacques. Saint Alan. Ian turning cartwheels in the Dale. Ian in Paris today? Where is my one idle knife? When did I use it last? Can one T remember? Let legs GUIDEU toward the dip. Now I remember, to perforate cardboard. Note for G. Ferguson, wonder where he is. Yes, there it is by the milkweed. Got milk on hands yesterday putting up note. Harbor Beach, little gold knife. Part the soiled rope. Sit. Milkweed, Minnesota. Biggest milkweed and smallest people. Out to Dale. Back. Hem many types of ignorance. The path. I am hungry. Back to hut. I wear my trousers rolled. Do I dare to eat a peach? Are THEY ripe yet? No. Saturday, August 16, 197.5. To contact Campbell Dalglish, Y1 and to meet Tim Leary in a restaurant in RR station off corridor. People there offered me food. Outside in corridor as I was leaving met Tim, looking quite different, long horsey face, brown teeth, like an English professor. I had a little house in New Orleans by the river. Coming home on my bicycle of light. Ah, there it is, orange settee on front porch. Up driveway. Bicycle on back porch. Very small backyard plot behind for sale. Perhaps whole area to be taken over for levy. House was just two facades, front porch and back porch. Sled on back porch. I suddenly realize this is not RE house, getting dressed, no time to button shirt. Forget socks. Onto big dodicle and open door in front of drive. Down driveway as young man in tan knitted tie and light suit carrying suitcase cross SES front yard. He calls to me, 11 Dealage, where are the keys? I ride on, noticing that this is Wyoming ST and I live on Denver Street. To Monday, June 16 th. House in Dream HA.LFI inside and half outside. Door to drive. Chairs. Front DO or opens on platform. Bed on back porch, opens on backyard. Songs in head today, August 16th. Love thy neighbor. RA boom darai. For a nickel or a dime. Put aside spoiled peach for the raccoon. Last night he rejected an aubergine. I don 1t blame hij. Lord is another voice. Put your little foot right in. When evening is nigh I hurry to my blue heaven. Sunday, August 17, 197.5. To contact Bill Jr. a mild gr day, Terre Haute 23, murder in Spain. The police saw banner headline, FR and Coda AD in Spain with some tourists in car. A bandit killed one tourist, cutting throat. Police arrived. We are roughly taken to Madrid police station. I wait a minute. Ver the victims, not the criminals. 11 est /n testigos they say. Esperan AQU. I look around at the police. IWO agents discuss the way to vigilar a district for subversives. ISEE that they have modeled themselves on the Gestapo. A sloppy Gestapo in fact. One agent has a sort of alarm bell and leaps up to hit a suspect every 30 seconds. Finally I am called to give RE statement. By NM1 they are more pole te, realizing that we are people of some consequence. A lieutenant in the identification department receives me politely, Schuldi.ng hands, Lieutenant Rodriguez de Cocuera. He types statement and takes picture, informs me that my luggage and passport will be returned and I am free to go after a visit to the American embassy and an intimate visit to the Marquesa de Dentura. This woman is remote relation of mine by marriage. I have never seen her and have no reason to visit her or to think she would welcome a visit from me. However he makes it clear that this visit is condition of RE release. To one Vneste, June 4th, visit to Marquesa who gives me letter to be delivered in London. Subsequently the lieutenant takes over the entire department and rises to rank of major and finals. He demands all the files of his rival Hajar Linares, head of the secret police. To be remembered that California was Spain at one time. Dream years ago, I was with Billy in Tangiers. Explosion to the north and I sighed there goes Madrid. One clear demonstration that we do not control words, subvocal songs. As I shaved and straightened up this morning, one just RT bill from Showboat. Lieutenant de Cocuera, English, thin, clean-shaven. Heavy beard, blue-gray face, gray eyes. Deceptive mild, deprecatory manner as if TOS of police beating prisoners in next room, those apes. Very purposeful. Cool player. Tie up with former Nazi in Interpol. Looking beyond Franco. Cool ironic glance at picture on wall, they come and go too. To Sunday, April 6th, leaving police station I was treated with great politeness by detectives who had been brusque and suspicious before. CNE, a fattish blonde man with pimples and cold gray eyes, shook hands. I asked if the murderer had been caught. Oh yes, said a thin plainclothes man in a gray suit, shoulders narrower than hip S. I have him at home. You see, I used to run a discotheque. 11 A uniformed cop carried my luggage and called a cab. I checked into The Hotel Ingles, and took cab to address on card. The one Larquisa, a middle-aged blonde with heavy makeup, received me, extending both hands. 11 the American cousin. 11 I accepted a tea. She looked at me over the rim of her cup. 11 And now I have a favor to ask, a letter to be delivered in London. In person. 11 I didn't like it. The servant announced the Count and Countess de Grazia. 11 Oh what a bore. Those Yugoslavian royalists. Why don't they just run a pig farm like their kinji? 11 The Count was a tiny man with a waxed mustache, obsequiously polite, the Countess buck-toothed and degenerate looking. When told that I had had trouble with the police, the Count was devastated as the Countess whistled through her teeth like an agitated chipmunk. Ah, but you must go, said the Marquesa. 11 Your plane leaves in an hour. But I have a reservation. 11 A reservation has been made. But RE luggage. 11 In the car outside. She embraced me and slipped a letter into my inside coat pocket. Car, young officer, driver. Through customs to London. Christopher Brentwood, 6, Prince's Place. The discotheque letter. Permissions on discotheque delayed as usual. I agree that this could be a profitable investment with proper management and selective clientele. It is to be kept in mind that we suffer from a time lag here, so selection of records must reflect the modes of 3 to 5 years ago. Regret that I cannot intervene directly, owing to my position, but I have not been remiss behind the scenes. When nicht von vorn, den von hinterl herum. When not by the front way, then around by the back way. Sincerely recorded, Rodriguez de Cocuera suggests the Blue Ribbon as name for discotheque. I read the letter and handed it back. 11 Mr. Brentwood. I am not an agent on the political level. Aren't you? Police officials? Former Nazis in Interpol. Rich American marquisas. No doubt the lieutenant intends to get all the files in his department, including the coveted files of Major Linares, head of the SECRET police. To contact James G. Vague dream. Stage ACT with Jalm DC. Lumbago helped by James 1 back exercise. Was ABLE to gather bowl of black betais. Tuesday, August 19, 1975. To contact John DC and Stephen L.DW, checking out food at cafeteria counter. Clover-shaped pan full L of milk. Hid quarter ounce of C in pocket. Dinner P. La NS in St. Louis involving Brian, Bill Willis, Italian place. Bilver. Ended a steak. I asked him where is best steak in TMM. He said at Inky Nick de Kenderf one's still crippled. Put out sign. Will arrange to go to see Hiraprik to our Tornarau JLR. Billings. Wednesday, or UST 20th, 1975. John D.C. Cities of the Red Knight. A Roman temple in England on iron ore site, reference to paupers. Sitting on couch. Light wouldn't he turn on. Hove to another couch. No. Vent to chiropractor Dr. Behrens, 19, Grove Street, I see all walks of life. L. La.N has here complaining about the bus one. I asked him, are you a bus driver? Turned out he was president of the Chase Manhattan Bank. But he had to park his car every day and take a bus. 11. Broke kerosene lamp putting on. Fetish t-shirt. Raccoon came to hut for tuna and rice. Latching him eat destroy ed spider is vleb. The spider 1s. House. Thursday CTQY, August 21, 1975. Vlith Paul Bowles and Ian. Showhead them how I co uld fry. Tried to teach Ian who has V marine heavy R, Ray lumpy tweed suit. He couldn't. In plane 30,000 up. I showed me N1 AP of landing place. IWOULD fly, they take PL on a down. Warm place behind a pine tree. Alan Cheensberg and I open restaurant. Citation from the board on beef stew. Inspector, well I can get you off Vijitha fine but I dunno. Preliminary tests SHOW definitive contamination. You're lucky IEO here before the customers or you 1 dB up for man s law UGH tur. Didn't 1 eat any yearsly did you? Well oh no, I 1 sort of a vegetarian. 1111 that stew would make a VE get Arian out of any bo dysprosium 11 on river front had re ntedash act from someone named Camel. Couldn't 1 find toilet. Should I use SOMO NE else 1s? Finally found emable toilet and somewhere in hut. Sort of making it LRITH Camel. Why did I ever move from 77 Franklin Street cut self-shaving every OBIECT in room a bit askew? To Thursday, January 2nd, along a stagnant SLM1 river, Rotine piers on Rumbaved Street. The houses all narrow and small, rusty bathtubs and toilets. In the HOUs I rented from Camel ADOOR off single room inside, a rusty show WER and two toilets, one above the other. Anyone using lower toilet would be hunched over. Upper toilet known as King's Toilet. The to 1 a mile away. Het James 1 boy. 11 Shall we camel, 11. Friday, August 22, 1975. James and I invited to lunch with David DC at 2 p.m. James had a trimmed black beard. He kept making demurs until 4 p.m. then wanted more time to trim beard. I've set out finally and head a track leading to DC apartment. Brian joined us here. DC lived in a club dorm. Brian and I went to W.C. I was accosted by club steward, a pimply-faced young man with thick neck, who said 11 I'll know what your game is. I hit him and D left him unconscious. Out through a room with table set and F low RS. On pa th outside, F on D I was wearing white shoes with fur, white sway at pan ts. David Prentice. Alan A. Ensign. Talking about PARAC who te jumps. Before, James and I to catch bus. Delays. I flawed down bus with Rorm CUP Ola in back. Went back for SU at case. Razor outside. JERK handle. Broke handle of cup. That damned bus. Chase M. President. SAT Ord I, August 23, 1975. In Alexandria with Brian and some boy ELSE on streetcar. A Chinese boy SIDNG next to me was a fan. I've got off streetcar and I was giving him the address of my English publisher to write to me. Brian out of SIGHT. I start LOOKNG for him in restaurant. A woman journalist volunteers to help. Efficient veloman AGENT type. Before chin ESE in restaurant a bit brusque. AW Oma an opera singer had organized a poetry reading and colloque. Brian, Gregory, and others. Gregory read, then she sang aria from, illegible. Whole reading contingent on her aria. 11. I said. John Brady CALLED. He was in New York. Came over VRL.th girl and Irish boy named Pat. Started back to their place on Aloes St. In garage they all three get under a rug to make it. A girl there who was cured of the codicin habit by Jehovah's Witnesses. Girl named one Ollie told her 1 LF thou dost not stop thou art in thy grave. Pat, a cask of yellow russet hair like autumn leaves. Handsome vacant face, yellow-brown skin, wide mouth, bro 1 eyes. Green jacket, tan slacks, bronze suede shoes. A blank and human look like a Venusian half-wit nothing but occasional works his mouth and twists face. To Saturday, lay to Heath. See August 23, the hour that darkens and grows always later and leaves the world to darkness and to me. Alien invasion of New York City. I-2 Ave apartment. Will try to get to Mexico or South America. Sunday, August 2 Heath, 1975. On Price Road WITH someone on motorcycle. I can take THE hut set anywhere. \VE stop in front of Boy 1's town which is on the right green lawns and oak tree some huts. I will camp in one. However, I decide to return to house instead. 700 F Tice Road Clayton his Sowery. Terrible feeling this morning of depression and foreboding. Gray overcast chilly weather. Monsig U August T25th, 1975. Came to door of my house. C\1. Coachman in Hor se drawn carriage, room for one more inside, sir. I-111 HAVE the PARNTS all pi CKEDOUT. 11 He turns into Ian inside a bus. He has candy in string on SPOLS. Hang ein in Arab COUNTRIES. On /RL.red GLASS in front of garage, 252 I.NT tight letters. The Ku Klux Klan Club near airport. You clear customs at door then board. Directly. IA.ITIV within Rolls-Royce. Here to do some business. I had a slight habit. To Sunday, February 2nd, RD. In a sort of gymnasium, a youth in gym clothes said, "What about Bill? His parents are here, of course." On spaceship. Michael P. came in my room with hard-on under white pants. I embraced him and he turned into a strange being. Flippers coming out my chest, at ot her time separat from me, a sort of reptile. The spaceship seemed to be a rise of platforms. Strung together on rails with gaps between where I could look down thousands of feet. Wood and debris falling slmrjy. Now a man was falling. But he was blown back, onto the ship. James Grower Halt's, Dream in Early Morning of, Londi, April 8, 1974's. Long detailed dreams of encounter with strange cult. I had a nicely appointed apartment in an old building, came back after work and there was a new stereo and tape deck given me, by whom I didn't know. I felt someone was in the room, walked into the kitchen and there is this fattish girl, about 22, looking quite at home. Desultory conversation. Apparently there was a door joining my apartment to the next, and they, felt no compunction at opening it and entering it while a crowd of these strange cultists, ignorant looking and talking, points of origin Joplin MO, Nashville, etc., something very Appalachian about them, walked in sent ng hurry up you'll miss the services. They swarmed on me with complete disregard for privacy or possession, snatched the notebook from NZY jacket pocket /flash bob jvja.jss ghost their sd. FS hey, you don't just grab some box notebook /sentiments. I echoed in astonishment. They left from a fire escape over the alley. I saw heavy oak door, then in dark rain from alley level the saloon door. Inside, strange ululations. Old lady in print dress and Sunday hat peered out in perfectly stupid distrust, said I couldn't come in. I pretended I wanted to join them. Then later I'm in a 58 Chevy, Emmy Lou at the wheel and her fiancé in backseat, a very cute farm boy type. Freckles, overalls. He holds up a joint and says, "Want a camel?" 11 like camel was a verb. Just then El says 11.5 IITIO. There's HR Rosenblum L, and outside the car a pale fat man strolls by, bald and wearing transparent red wraparound sunglasses, very odd. His short white rayon socks collapsed on bony ankles. Alien Ginsberg, The Dream of Tibet. August, 19W. I am riding in tourist bus past hills. This is the Tibet border, looks like a nice bejeweled green Ireland ringed by hills. We see a group of red-robed lamas, 10 in all, walk up to top of the hill, where there is a pole, and make obeisance to the sun and perform a silent ceremony. I am excited and curious. So these at last are the real magicians. Want to meet them, the members of my party also. So it is arranged for the leader of one of the Lama groups to have tea with us, though he is earntilling and funny and SCVS 11 busy, and we ask him to perform fortune-telling ceremony. I speak up egoistically, to mumble I 1ve read the Book of the Dead, which he ignores. He turned s prayer v theals and comes on with long speech that he, being a red-haired affable European, types up for us since we are insistent and curious what we see. Yes, said the telephone wires. Your call has 1 minute to go. It was a weird occurrence in New York Iberian Trans-Pacific Co., but as such recognizable under the sign of the fourth star and will be repeatable if not repeated. What is more, the wooden flower of Rousseau is an excellent image. See stock quotations below for further listings. And it runs on in roughly similar manner. I realize the priest is tuning into some secret message code which is endless, and every time he sits to make magic prayers, this is what he does, pick up on the continuous nonsensical or mysterious message in his mental radio. But from where? How like Burroughs. He leaves and goes back to a monastery through a big door to a magic modern interior. Follow to talk to him. I want to ask him about Burroughs, but he goes in and I am kicked out by a guard in black silk suit. However, I hang around and insist that I have special mystic urgent business to see the gent and simply walk in. Inside I am surprised. It's like a large hospital office, with modern glass marble furniture, many Europeans walking around like officials and intelligent zombies. I am amazed by Tibet, must be something very special about the universe going on in this high secret science fiction lilcy interior. I look for my lama, who is reluctant to talk but I insist, and ask him 11 you mean to say Burroughs is in on this? Well I don't want to know if you could say that. He's his own man don't want to know if I really approve I want to know .. Are some more 11 well you'll have to be interviewed by Miss Laporte over there at that huge marble desk go talk to her and see if you really want I'm going to sit here and learn more now Miss Laporte just what is going on here. I sit down and she asks me what do you want Ulma? What does the initiation feel like? 11 Not very pleasant and unless you're prepared for it here feel this /ave of hallucination p.1 ripple sense floats over me I've been in Bardo the doll before but never realized it was real 111 Lel it is quite a real experience Ginsberg and we're not informed on your progress so as you can see it might be dangerous for you to go further. I'm in it already I say to explain ayahuasca etc and then return to Burroughs then Burroughs has been here /11 of course. In a sense he's still here. Well is he operating under instructions? 11 No he's on his own too much so he's a difficult one not much love there to work with. 11 Wadsaja mean, I say, I love him and if I do you certainly can put out, 11 I say. In addition he loves me we make a comfy cozy twosome I might add for your info and if that isn't one love one what do you want? Yes I suppose that's true well now as you know you 1ll experience all sorts of beasts and devils and monsters here, do you feel strong enough? They aren't real, 11 I say, why should me with that, I want to connect the real center, what kind of being is that? Well you may be sure benevolent, but you are so strong-willed, but it one's your business to explore now what do you suggest doing now el more hol.lsinogen depth tivla m. The depth is by now increased to where the dream within dream takes on cosmic proportions and itna. Rare I am real visiting secret Tibet, secret because it is a place for real in the L1IND, universal, populated by ghosts Samsaric Lamazuho are actually very kind and cooperative to me. But ambiguous and tricky and not entirely sure of their facts, such as on Bill we one re not at all sure we approve of his present open methods at a secret doctrine. 110 Screw that, I say, what are you running, a secret society? There one's a lot of people who want to know what everything is about I say no will you follow Mr. Lama to the cafeteria? I go down halls with him wondering if this, eating, is a sensual trick to embarrass me or sidetrack the hallucinati on but I eat akiwe a small plate of hash and some strange sliced raw fish or rare bird meat I heave the dirty scraps of soiled bird meat back on plate the bottom layer has some dust on it howled I have eaten. As we go back 11 /lel, no, he says, but it's up to you well why don't you give me direct instruction? I query. I won why I see he's some pipes lying on the ground, a pile as in construction storage and some boxes may be labeled, re-oughty to use minutes to go and cut out and paste up in wall I say, a hole so thats where Bill's getting his 100 toes he must have been he re. Yes, says the man, he was and in sense still as though operating from Europe. Well this is great. Not so fast you still have to go through feeling strange the horrors will begin soon. I suddenly regret I've been tricked into eating, which means vomiting I remember ICA and give them yogic demonstration of vomit control I learned in ayahuasca we go back to main room, and he says, now we take a trip and we are transported back to the west I am annoyed.